crazy. Look what seeing, dog.
That nigga got a fucking kaiju.
Look, Godzilla on them kaiju. Twerk, baby, twerk, Harlem kaiju. Work it, girl, work.
This is a Harlem kaiju. No. Nah, go ahead. Let's hear it. Nah, go ahead. Let's hear it.
I was already like, I gave Avowed a pass. You know what I'm saying? Not really. I was complaining about it, but I gave Avowed a pass. You know what I'm saying? And they was trying to, Hypnotic, calling me a shill and all that. But I can't give no more passes out for that art style. I can't.
That art style.
Marvel Rivals got it, and it's not even really the Fortnite kind of art style.
Marvel Rivals got good art style though.
It is a good art style because it's more. I don't even know how to describe it, but boy, I'm so tired of it. And the thing with Avowed was that what they sold us with that first trailer versus what we got.
Yeah, that's why I'm not interested in it. Plus, I've seen multiple videos, fucking Luke Stevens, Skill Up, a whole aTraes Gaming, a whole bunch of other people that I watch on YouTube for like different kind of gameplay for Avowed. I'm just like, it just doesn't appeal to me at all. It looks very.
I'm glad we talking about this.
Generic looking. I don't really.
You want my 2 cents?
I was.
Oh yeah.
Hypnotic and company was calling me a shill because granted, I haven't gotten to the part of the game where the combat has gotten a chance to become repetitive, or people kept scaring me with this idea we was gonna be fighting a lot of bears and stuff like that. I was like, oh man, but like what I played so far seems fine to me. It ain't amazing, but then I heard you give it a 9.5, and I was like,
gotta ask about that 9.5.
Yes, I gave it. Yes,
gotta ask about that 9.5.
And I will give you my response. So yeah, I mean, I gave it a 9.5 because I played it in a vacuum. I don't know what anybody thought of the game. So when I said that, I had no idea what anyone else was going to score it, right? But yeah, I mean, at this point, God, I probably have 70 something hours in the game. And at the time when I said that, I think I had about 52 or so. I love it. I love it for what it is. And I think my expectations, like you said, what we saw in 2020 is not what this game ultimately became, right? So I already knew that. So I didn't have that expectation of like, well, damn, that's what you showed in 2020. This ain't the same. And as a result, I played it as an Obsidian game. Like, I'm a huge Obsidian fan. I've talked about this a million times. So people mad at me online, Google me, pull the receipts, because I've been talking about this shit for years. That I love Obsidian games. Fallout New Vegas is one of my favorite games of all time, right? I like the Outer Worlds as an example. I'll take you back to Alpha Protocol, shit like that. For what Avowed is, I really enjoy the combat. I don't know how long or far you're in or what zone you're in, but once you start getting into that second and third zone playing, the combat ramps up big time. Combat is really good, and you are rewarded for exploring. Like, you could rush through that game in probably 20 hours if you wanted to, but if you take your time, that's why I kept saying in review, I'm like, look, take your time. If you take your time, you're going to be rewarded for it, because you're going to find a lot of shit that they're not going to hold your hand for. Like I said, the combat gets really hard. You'll have to use various type of weapons, all the spells, things like that. I had a blast with it. There's a big twist that happens later in the game that you have to make a hard choice. Enjoyed that.
Oh, that happened. That happened already for me.
Oh no, there's another one. Trust me.
So one of the things. So I was criticizing. So we fresh off of Veilguard, right?
Yeah, I didn't like Veilguard.
Getting through that game was a slug, but we completed it.
Yeah,
well, y'all roast me in the chat. We completed it, and I was really upset about
better than me
because you're a fake gamer. Anyway,
I am not wasting my time playing garbage. All right, I couldn't do it.
Okay, so I was complaining about the lack of dialogue options and the effect that you have on the game. So I was complaining about Avowed as well. So there's a point in the game where the refugees. You remember the refugees in the beginning, the couple that. And then you have to go to the ones and you can make a deal with them, right? So
yeah.
I was complaining. This is why you got to play the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I was complaining because when we was talking to them, me and chat, I was like, man, they just said, like, I was actually on the couple side. Like, you come at my wife with a knife. I was on their side, but we didn't have an option to kind of like turn on them. It was like, yeah, help them or nothing. So like, I'm following the mission, but I'm complaining the whole way. I was like, I don't know, chat. Like, the dialogue, I thought the dialogue was gonna be great. We didn't get no good dialogue options. I don't know, y'all. And then how it's a point A and a point B. I don't know why I went to point B first. I get right at the door, right before I press the button where it says open the door. I happen to glance up at the top left of the screen, and it says, something about helping the refugees, and then B, it said turn them in to whatever the lady's name is. I was like, oh, it's not a dialogue option because they didn't want you to tell them that you was gonna turn them in. So I was about to turn around and go to point A because, like I said, I'm on the couple side. But chat was like, nah, turn their ass in. I'm like, chat, don't make me do this. And they voted and they made me turn them in. I felt bad because my companion scolded the hell out of me for it. It was like, in layman's terms, my companions was like, well, you're a really bitch ass nigga for that, right? That's pretty much what they said to me. They both looked at me and was like, yeah, you a bitch for that. I was like, well, we got paid. We got paid. So there are some dialogue options. That's what's keeping me in the game right now. With a game like this, combat shouldn't be the number one thing. It should be fun. The game shouldn't be tedious to play. But when you're playing a role-playing game, it's called role-playing game, not action.
Oh, I agree. Mm-hmm.
Right. So I should be able to play the role I want to play. And that's ultimately what killed me with Veilguard. It was like, you're going to be a therapist and you're going to like it. You know what I'm saying? With all these characters complaining and stuff like that, and you don't have the option to tell them to fuck off or none of that. With Avowed, you walk in and characters react to you immediately. Like you come in, somebody start talking off, at the side of their neck. You're like, who you talking to? And they're like, okay. Or you can come in, you be nice. But that's what got me. I haven't gotten to the point where it's janky yet. Hypnotic talked about it being buggy or janky or whatever the case may be.
I saw Luke talk about that. I know Luke, and I'm like, I didn't have that issue. I played it on Steam and I played it on Xbox. I mean, some very minor stuff, but I mean, it was fine. So, but then he was like, said he had all kind of issues, and I've seen some other people say the same thing. So, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't run into that yet. Only thing I might complain about is the frame rate. I'm playing on PC, 4070 Ti Super. So I don't, I don't have the most souped up computer. As a matter of fact, I barely know how to work it. That's
the goddamn fucking truth, bro.
Well, at least some. You know what? Fuck this nigga, Katie. He's not helpful for nothing. When I told y'all, when I had a problem, when I replaced my graphics card and my PC wouldn't come on, and I asked them, hey, what you think this is? You know what this man told me? It's probably something to do with the power. Like,
I said, no, when I said that, and then I said, did you make sure that you put the right power cable in the right slot on the motherboard? That's what I said. And you said, yeah, man, I did. And then you came back.
That wasn't the problem. That wasn't the issue. That wasn't the issue. The issue was the actual power switch wasn't plugged into the right spot. The switch to turn the PC on wasn't plugged in all the way. Matter of fact, it wasn't plugged in at all. I must have said, don't know what that is, and just left.
So I'm still right. I gotta see. So I'm glad you brought that up, talking about the NPC choice. So I saw this clip or this video. I think it was yesterday. They were doing a comparison between this game and Skyrim, which I feel like it is a valid comparison to make. I mean, they're kind of in the veil of the same kind of game, but they're not the same game.
Yeah, it's not. They're not the same game.
But this is what I had. This is what really like stood out to me was the NPC interactions, right? So I saw multiple clips of this. It was like the NPCs don't move when you go into the town. They don't move. They don't really interact with you. You can walk around. You could steal something right in front of somebody's face, and they really won't do anything. Like, look, he's flaming them up. Nothing happens.
I mean, but I do get roasted running through the city, though. Or not necessarily roasted. They do. I mean, they talk to you. They'll say something like, I remember one guy walked by. He was like, hey, you're supposed to verify who you are before going in. He was like, oh, fuck it. Or something like that. I remember that distinctly. I was like, did you just ask me for permission to come in here? Like, I'm not asking for permission. I'm just going to walk in here. But I mean, other than that, and then I did see one. Now, I will say this. This is one. I saw two of the same NPCs. Maybe they're the same character. I don't know. There's a black woman in there with like poofy hair. And you get a side mission from her. And then later you go to a different area. And I thought it was the same exact character. But
yeah, they reuse a lot of the NPC assets for sure. That was probably my main critique.
Yeah, I don't got a problem with that at all. I got a problem with this. Like, this turns me off completely. I'm like, oh, well, it seems like the world isn't really as reactive as they was trying to say it was. And maybe I'm just spoiled from other RPGs.
No, and you very well could be, but I'll say this. I'll say this on that because, and that's valid because I don't think this game is going to be for everyone, right? Because of the style of RPG that it is. And look, I know some people online gave me shit and pulled old clips where I said, what did I say, Path of Exile instead of Pillars of Eternity. Because I thought I didn't know. And if they wouldn't have clipped it when they did, they would have seen me then talk to Kerry Patel and tell him myself. I said, I didn't know what the hell this was. I'm new to this universe. From what I understand, in Pillars, you don't do any of that stuff anyway. So it's standard to that universe's RPG, right? And to your point, of course, you got Skyrim, The Witcher, stuff like that has NPCs that are walking around that are more dynamic, that you interact with more. But this game didn't. I personally was okay with it. It didn't bother me, because there's other games in the past. Like I originally. Not that it's a 1-for-1, but when I started playing it, I thought of Oblivion that came out in 2006 or like Morrowind. It kind of reminded me of that. But a different universe, and I think the combat's a lot better in it.
HD, you getting timed out.
Uh-oh.
You getting timed out.
They don't even know what a computer is. I forgot about that.
He said that bullshit, boy.
So I guess my rebuttal to all of that would be I've played like Elder Scrolls, Oblivion, Morrowind, fucking Fallout, and all these other different RPGs. I just got done playing Cyberpunk 2077. I know that's a completely different genre.
Oh yeah, that's gonna spoil you for sure.
But it's like I've been and BG3, of course. It's like I've been playing like such high quality like RPGs and shit like that. Is when I look at this, I remember when I got Skyrim in 2011. Hold on. I remember though when I played Skyrim, even vanilla Skyrim in 2011. I'm like, oh, this is fucking awesome. I could, if I don't like this dude, I could just pull out my damn my flame spell and just cook them. And in this game, it's like you can't do stuff like that. And to me, at least, that's just like a deal breaker for me with an RPG based off of. I'm still going off of like the first impressions of when they first showed this back in 2020, and then when they recently started showing new trailers, I'm like, oh, this looks like a completely different game than what I was sold back in the day. So I'm not really with it. And then watching all the other gameplay I've seen and how, they're saying the combat's repetitive. I can't really attest to that. But this right here, really,
I definitely disagree on that. Yeah.
This right here, like where the NPCs don't do anything, that just really just turned me off completely. Where I'm like, yeah, I'm good on that.
And to that point, if you're in the towns or whatever, the NPCs aren't going to be moving around. Take your ass out into the open zone world where the enemies are. Trust me, they'll be moving around a lot.
I ain't gonna lie, a lot of these RPGs don't be a little bit too detailed for me. I mean, like you brought up Cyberpunk, right? Mm-hmm. Cyberpunk is not. They're not treating me right. I made a decision in the game that decision where you go in there and you trying to get the robot from the little bot from the dude. I decided to go in there guns blazing. I said, fuck it, I ain't taking no shit from nobody. I killed them all. I can't go nowhere in this game now, bro. I can't.
Yeah, you fucked up. Yeah, you fucked up. I know exactly what you're talking about. The dudes with the 3 eyes and shit. Yeah.
I can't do nothing, bro. I can't go get a haircut. I can't get no food. Everywhere I go, they pull up. All smoke, no talking, no nothing. I can't do that. I can't complete a mission.
Play Phantom of Liberty and then do that decision and then come back to me. You want to talk about making a fucked up decision?
I haven't uninstalled the game, but man, bro, I'm like, I one day I was in here playing. I was like, remember that video of that kid losing in Fortnite? I was in here mad as fuck because I'm trying to do a side mission, and they pull up on me every time without fail. Like, oh, you thought we was gonna let that go? I'm like, bro, come on, y'all couldn't dial this shit back a little bit, like, golly. But yeah, though, I feel you though. I understand. So we got super chats or what?
I thought Paris was gonna say something else on it on the Avowed thing.
I mean that y'all pretty much nailed it on that. What I was gonna say is I get the divisive opinions on it. Like I see a lot of people that love it. I see a lot of people that don't like it. Like you brought up Skill Up as an example. Ralph's my guy. He does not like the game at all. And I respect his opinion and his reasons for not liking it. But I think for me, it was things where I was like, that didn't bother me. I was okay with it. But then I could take you to Indiana Jones when that came out. I didn't like it. And people was cooking me for not liking it. But then you have, this is game of the year. It's the greatest thing. I'm like, the AI is dumb as shit. I go, why is this dumb? I don't like this. You know what I mean? So again, it's video games, man. It's just varied opinions on stuff.
I refuse to review games. I played 300 hours of Anthem, y'all. So
yeah, absolute
moron. You want to hear a story? You want to hear a story about that? So I was hardcore into Destiny, like during the 2010s, right? Like, I mean, I'm talking
I was
thousands of hours in it, right? So they had brought me and some other creators in, BioWare did, to basically play test and preview Anthem before it came out. Like we went up to BioWare, up to Edmonton, you know, we'd play it for hours. We'd have these Q&A sessions with the devs and all that. And I'm telling you, to a man, we all said, do not put this game out. It is not ready. Everybody's going to compare this to Destiny. You ain't doing this, and this. And everybody's going to go, why aren't you doing this? You should do it. Like we told them, don't put it out. Put that shit out anyways. And here we are. You know, that's a case of, that's a case of these companies have mandates. They're not, even though they bring you in and you tell them it ain't ready, they still put it out. Like you bring up Cyberpunk. Like I'm literally sitting in the chair, everybody let it give me shit about, because 2020, you know, I hosted the launch event for it, and I played like a early preview, like that first zone where you know tried to go guns blazing, right? That was all I played. I was like, the game's gonna be fine, it'll be all right. Hell no, that shit came out technical mess. It literally took them about 2 more years to finally get it to where it needed to get. Like when Edge Runners came out, when they updated it for Edge Runners, then Cyberpunk was in a good place. Yeah. You don't know these devs. They you know, it's about money, man. They put these games out before it's ready, and you know, CD Projekt Red obviously was able to weather it and fix it, whereas BioWare, I mean, they had to cancel Anthem, and Anthem had a lot of potential too. It really did.
It's a shame because it seemed like Cyberpunk is probably one of the greatest games of all time.
It's one of the greatest RPGs I ever played in my. It's one of the greatest games I've ever played.
It's going to be one of those games that doesn't get the respect it deserves because of the way it launched.
Because of how it launched in 2020. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, to your point, if Phantom Liberty, if it came out the way Phantom Liberty was, we'd be talking about it as one of the greatest games of all time. Easily.
I'll say this though. You stood on your 9.5.
Oh yeah.
You stand on your 9.5. I don't necessarily agree with it, but at least it wasn't a damn 7. At least it wasn't a 7.
I mean, I look at it this way. This is how I look at that, right? Because again, I know there's certain people that like to give me shit. Oh, you're bought and sold because you gave it a 9.5 and they gave you a mask. It's like, it's freaking silly. But wouldn't you rather someone be excited about a game than to constantly just shit on a game? I mean, I would rather say, hey, I think this game is good versus, yep, this sucks because of X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. Like, look, obviously, if it deserves it, it deserves it. But Avowed's not a bad game. I mean, you may not agree it's a 9.5, but it's a good game. It's worth your time to play. I will absolutely stand on that.
To answer your question about, of course, I want to hear that the game I've been looking forward to is good. And I said that when the whole pronoun debacle came out about Avowed, I have been looking forward to Avowed since the day it was announced. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not even like a first person RPG type person like that. So when the whole pronouns thing came out, I was like, God damn, here we go.
And I got caught up in that shit too, because I went to the studio and, you know, I interviewed all the people from the dev team. And, you know, the art director, Matt, said what he said online. And I didn't agree with it because you shouldn't have said that shit online. But then it got spun into, the pronoun thing. And everybody's talking about the pronoun thing. And honestly, I remember seeing it when I previewed it. And I didn't even think anything of it. I was like, okay. And I just created my character and went on. I honestly think that got blown out of proportion. But the stuff that he said did not help because that just added fuel to the fire.
He made it worse.
Yeah.
He made it worse. What he was like pretty much antagonizing. Like going like, I made this to spite Elon Musk, and if you think this is bad, wait till you see like when he said wait till you see the default, that's when I went, so you're saying I don't have the choice to not put that in my character or not? Well then fuck you, because and most people went like, okay, that's how
you turn it off. You know, because I heard that you can turn it off.
I heard you could turn it off too. I don't know.
I mean, like for me,
now I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember. Because I created a female character. I didn't even think about it.
Like I said, everyone, you only knew about it, and that's my whole thing. Because, and I want to be consistent. I've said this from the jump. It's not about you putting in the game. You put whatever you want in your game, but when you advertise it and you're virtue signaling, like, oh, guess what, guys, we got pronouns in the game. They never did that. We only found out about it because somebody previewed the game, and then we saw it through a screenshot of their gameplay. So that's why I wasn't trying to make a big deal about it. Now, I told my audience, I said, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm still play Avowed. You know what I'm saying? Y'all might be roasting me in the comments. I got roasted. You know, it is what it is. I ain't put on that clown fit though. I put it on for Dustborn. I ain't put it on for Avowed. Y'all not getting me with that again.
You still got to finish that game too. We ain't forget.
I'm not finishing that game, bro. I've already told you that.
My only thing, and I said it at the time, when all that went down back in November, whenever it was, that devs have to remember, you can have your personal opinion about stuff, right? But you're representing not only yourself, but the hundreds of people that helped make that game at the same time. So I get it. You want to have your own opinions, and no one's saying you can't have that, but you're kind of putting yourself in a public sphere with that. You're representing not only the game, but you're representing the company at the same time. So when you say stuff like that, you're putting the game at risk when it comes to that, right? You're putting people's livelihoods at risk when it comes to stuff like that. So I don't know, man. I like I said, I didn't agree with it at the time that he was going after Elon and being defiant about it online. Because look, I'll tell you this. I've met him in person. I've talked to him. He's a good dude. He really is, honestly. But, personal opinions like that, when you're representing something more than yourself, you got to be mindful of that, man, because your words are going to matter.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people are better people offline than they are online, and that's on all sides. I even told, like, you can ask Katie. It took him a while to convince me to do this show, because I like stuff more in person, because I feel like
that's me.
Yeah. Like I feel like tones start to get a little bit more level in person, and it's a lot less audacity in person. But I like this controlled environment. But we have to be accountable for the things that we say online.
100%. I'm gonna say this real quick too, because I've in the past year or so got a reputation that I'm a freaking bully, because I told the story about there was another creator that was saying, he kept saying some crazy shit about me online, and we just so happened to be at the same event. So I approached him in person and we had a conversation, right? And it wasn't like, oh, I'm trying to fight you or beat you up, but people took it like, oh, you tried to bully him. I was like, no, to exactly what you're saying. If you're going to talk crazy to me online, talk crazy to me in person. That's all I'm saying. Just treat me the same way you would treat me as if I was sitting in front of you. That's all I would ever say. That
Paris ain't no little nigga either.
It is even about that. Like, I'm trying to act like, oh, I'm this big dude that's gonna whoop your ass or something like that. I
don't like that. See, my whole thing is, if I'm gonna talk crazy, and again, we got to be accountable. So I'm well aware I did make a thumbnail with the clown hair. Somebody else made the thumbnail. I just stole it. Somebody made the because Paris, because I remember I posted the video on Twitter, and some dude was like, "Hey, this is my thumbnail." I was like, "Oh damn, for real?" I just took it from Twitter, and it was Paris with like he edited the clown hair on him, and it was because Paris had a bad take. And then
I saw it.
And so like if Paris was to approach me in real life and be like, "Hey, so what's up with that thumbnail?" God damn, hold on, this motherfucker.
God damn, my bad. I'm sorry.
God damn, but it's like you're gonna have to and like to try to spin it like, oh, he was trying to bully. Like, nah, he was trying to handle business, like, because
my thing on that, because it's funny you bring that up. I wasn't even gonna bring that up. You bring up that. I saw it. I laugh at shit like that. Stuff like that don't bother me. It's like, whatever. I look at it this way, and this is what I think a lot of other creators need to understand. The second you turn on that camera, the second you hit record on something, you are putting yourself out to the public. So, bro, I get criticized every goddamn day, every day. But I am adult enough and I'm thick-skinned enough to understand. I know who I am. I know what my opinions are. I don't stress that stuff when, oh, you sold out, you did this, or you're that, or you the blackest motherfucker on the planet. I like, whatever. I don't care. My only thing is, if you want to talk crazy to me like that in person, please do it. Don't backtrack on the stuff that you're saying. Say I made that clown emoji because you had a take about Black Panther that I disagreed with and I thought it was dumb. And then we'd have a conversation about it and we'd move on. My only thing is I see people, and I'm gonna take myself out of this for a second, but I see people go after some people, and we talked about this when I was on the last time. Go after people and make that shit personal. That's what I don't agree with. Don't make it personal, man. It's like you can critique the opinion someone has or the perspective that you have on someone. I'm for that all freaking day. Don't make it personal. Don't bring wives and kids and all this other stuff into it. Bro, I see some crazy shit online with that where people were like, damn well you would not say that to that person. Like you would not make it personal if y'all were standing across from each other. So don't do it online either. I think people take that stuff too far. That's my only thing with that. But as far as the criticism go, trust me, I say dumb shit all the time. So I'm perfectly fine getting criticized because if anything, I'll look at the criticism. If it's valid, I learn from it and I don't do it again. That's the whole point of criticism. So, it's fine.
Sometimes, and I'll leave it at that. We'll get into the super chats, guys. Sometimes when it comes to criticism, you gotta pause. It's easy on the internet to just respond right away. But I let stuff marinate because I don't post the videos. So I was in here getting cooked. I'm looking at the comments like, damn, bro, I'm getting. And if you respond right away, I made a video about John De La Rose. He's a grifter. It is what it is. Niggas was unsubbing. I was like, all right. You know what I'm saying? It's friendly fire. I don't give a damn what it is. I don't give a damn what it is. That nigga is a grifter in the true sense of the word. I know I go by Griff God on Twitter and all of that stuff. Like I'm trolling. He is actually a grifter, but we ain't gonna get into the John. We ain't gonna get into the John.
Let's not get into John Della backhole, man. I really don't want to. I really don't want to talk
about that. Let's not get into it and then call him John Della backhole.
I'm sorry, because there's certain individuals where it's like if I gotta slap you. It's certain individuals was like, yeah, I gotta slap the shit out of you when I see you because he's one of those dudes. I don't like him. He'll sit here and lie straight to your face and then be like, no, I didn't say. I can't stand that dude.
I don't. To what he did to Leon, bro.
Yeah, that's why. That's why.
That's the only reason why I'll accept. You know what I'm saying? You putting violent comments in our stream, trying to get us booted off of YouTube. That's the only reason I'm gonna accept that.
And I said it. I said in Minecraft though. In Minecraft.
No,
I said if I see him in a Minecraft server, I had to get my iron pickaxe, and beat his ass with it. Yeah. In Minecraft.
You are sweet. You are sweet. Anyway, chat. Let's go.